Welcome to Spec Spotlight, a show that takes a look at interesting people in and around the Metro Detroit area. I'm Patrick O'Hearn, and my guest for this show is 97.1 The Ticket's morning show host, Bill McAllister.
Hey, what's going on, Patrick? Did you say interesting?
Interesting.
And you still want to talk to me?
Yes.
All right.
I mean, more interesting than Theron.
Well,
yes. Well, let's get started with the first
watching
question.
grass grow is more interesting than Theron.
All right, let's start with the first question. How did you get your start in radio broadcasting?
I went to Specs Howard also. I am a Specs Howard grad. Go Specs. How's the football team doing this year?
Pretty bad.
Yeah. I honestly, I worked in the restaurant biz for a while and decided that, I don't want to do this for the rest of my life. I always thought it'd be cool to work in radio or television, but I was always, kind of that thought that, well, yeah, someone else does that. It'd be a cool thing to do, but I'm not going to be able to do it. And I got to the point where it was like, I would like to do that, and I don't want to do what I'm doing now, which is working in restaurants. So I went to Specs Howard, shined, cream rises to the top, all that good stuff. And you go to Specs Howard.
Yes.
So just acknowledge it. The guys who go out and smoke every day and don't do those guys aren't going to have a job in radio or TV.
No way.
They won't.
No.
If you pay attention, in Specs Howard, honest to God, if you pay attention, you absolutely will get a job in radio or television. You have to do the work. I'm not going to just let you go through, but I digress. I did graduate from Specs, and I ended up working for 97.1 when it was WKRK. I got hired in as a news reader and sort of a fill-in guy doing board op work, and I still had about a week left to go. It was pretty cool because my classmates could hear me on the air because I would read the news during the Dominski and Doyle show. So, here I was in Specs Howard, and I'm like, this is pretty cool. This might actually turn into something. Cool. So that's basically how I started. That was in 2000. So I've been at 97.1 ever since.
How was the transition from 97.1 when it was hot talk to sports talk?
Not a ton different. I mean, we already had the Lions and the Tigers on our station, and we had gotten the Red Wings maybe the year before. So we had all the teams already, and we are a talk station essentially. I mean, the Ticket is a talk station, and we do mix sports and general discussion too, a lot of local talk. And, basically they call it water cooler talk. If people are talking about it at work, more than likely we're going to be talking about it too. So it wasn't a huge transition.
Gotcha. What do you like best about being on air?
What do I like best about being on air? I don't have to wear a shirt and tie every day. I don't have to sit behind a desk. I can dress like the slob that I am, eat a bagel and drink coffee, and just be a goofball. I'm the same person now that I was when I was 5 years old, literally. I've not changed since I was a child.
Gotcha.
Some people still say I am a child.
What is a typical day for you at 97.1?
A typical day, I usually have you go get me some coffee, and then we get in, we do some prep work, get ready for the show, go over audio, and then we finally go into the studio and open up the mics, and we'll talk for about 4 hours or so. Our show's on from 6 to 10, 97.1 The Ticket, 971theticket.com. And then when we're finished with the show, we'll usually look at stories on the web, figure out what we're going to talk about for tomorrow, maybe come up with some bits that we might want to do for the following day or do some interviews, and that's pretty much it. Get yelled at by our boss.
How does the morning show affect your home life?
Well, when I come home, my wife sometimes wants to discuss the show, and I'm already done. I know it sounds mamby-pamby to complain about it, but it's not. I mean, try talking for 4 hours. It's not as easy as you'd think. It gets a little difficult to talk that long for, just to sound interesting or be funny or whatever. But the hours sometimes get to be a bit much. Getting up early, and then, when the rest of the world's up watching TV at 9:30, you're passing out on the couch. Usually from too much alcohol, but
how good is the chemistry between you, Sarah, and Stoney?
Oh, good. I think it's good. We just started in January, so here we are in October. It was a getting to know you period. Stoney's a great kisser, so it's working out pretty well.
What has been your favorite Detroit sports moment?
Favorite Detroit sports moment? I remember when the Shock was playing the Let's see. Greatest sports moment. I'll give you one of the last 5 years, and that would be Maglio Ordonez's home run. That was great.
Yeah.
Tigers in 06. Of all time, my greatest moment probably would be the Red Wings winning their first Stanley Cup back in '97. This city was very alive. It was great. We were like a real big city then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What has been the biggest influence throughout your career?
What has or who has?
What has?
What has been the biggest influence?
What's kept you going in the radio business?
Oh, we're the luckiest people on the planet. Look what Stoney's wearing right now. We get to wear whatever we want to wear. Get to meet celebrities, go to games, meet athletes, hang out, and just be goofballs on the air and get paid for it. Again, I could never, ever imagine myself being someone who wears a shirt and tie and has to sit behind a desk from 9 to 5. And I say 9 to 5 because that, sort of doesn't exist anymore. It's more like 8 to 6.
Yeah.
Working 50, 60 hours a week to, bring home a paycheck, and you're exhausted by the end of it. We're very lucky we get to do what we do.
Yeah,
so that's my biggest influence is I basically what I'm saying is I'm lazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, like growing up, like same thing with me. It's like, how many people do you actually know who are in the radio business? Like growing up, like getting out of college, like is it better to go to Specs Howard and get a degree or a certificate there, or is it better to go through college? Like as a radio personality, what's better for you?
Well, it depends what you want to go into. I mean, there's nothing. Going to college isn't a bad thing, but I mean, if you get out of high school at 18 and I want to be on the radio, this is what I want to do, then yeah, go to Specs Howard. I always will tout Specs Howard because I wouldn't be here now if it wasn't for them. But if you want to go into journalism or something beyond your basic, the monkey stuff we do, if you want to be an actual journalist, I mean, you need college. You're not going to get that just from Specs. Specs is great if you want to get into the business, and half the people on the air in Detroit went to Specs Howard.
Yeah. Detroit is a great sports city.
I feel like I'm on 60 Minutes. This is the longest interview ever.
3 more questions. Detroit's a great sports city. How does it feel to be a part of that?
Oh, it's awesome. We, people can say whatever they want about Detroit. Detroit sports fans are among the most passionate in the country.
As far as frustrations, what's one of the biggest frustrations you get while working in radio?
When Stoney's flatulence is out of control. When you get my coffee order wrong.
Has that happened yet?
No, it actually hasn't. You have been very good about that. Frustrations are just if you're trying to do a topic or something and you're not getting callers maybe, or it's just not working out the way you wanted it to. That's really it.
Well, what's one thing that you like to tease Theron about?
What's the one? Theron, by the way, is our producer.
Yeah.
For those of you Specs Howard students who don't know that, what do we like to tease Theron on his sexuality?
Yes.
Yeah, that's the most fun. And let's see, what else? Did you say one thing?
You can keep going.
He is straight. Theron's straight. He's got a fiance, quote unquote. He has a fiance, but we tease him about his sexuality. We tease him about his knowledge and or lack of, because sometimes he'll shock you with something you can't even believe that he knows, and other times you're shocked at what he doesn't know. Okay. But that would be 2 anyway. It's such a long list.
All right. What advice would you give someone trying to get into the radio business?
Start delivering pizzas. No, I would say honestly, and I mentioned it earlier, and you go to Specs Howard, the people who hang out in the back by the Roach Coach smoking cigarettes are never in class and are just sort of floating by will never work in radio. The people who do some of the work and sort of goof around will never work in radio. The people who really apply themselves and bust ass, can I say that? Maybe we'll get a job in radio. There are a ton of people that want to do it, but there are not a ton of jobs available. But if you're really good, you can get a job in radio, and it's the best career in the world.
All right. Well, I'd like to thank 97.1 The Tickets morning show host Bill McAllister for being a guest on Spec Spotlight.
Where's my coffee?
Spec Spotlight is heard daily on this radio station and is a production of the students of Specs Howard School of Media Arts.
Thanks for asking me.
I'm Patrick O'Hearn. Thanks for listening.